I just fixed the microphone. Alright.
Why do you need help?
Oh no, I just fixed the microphone.
Oh, you needed help?
Yeah. Well, didn't really need help. It was more... I wonder what settings were on that changed the microphone.
Oh, okay.
What are we eating?
What?
What are we eating?
Oh, I got pizza, but you can't eat until you're done.
Oh, okay.
So let me know when you're done.
Yep. Alright. Minor technical difficulties aside, let's get back to this. Welcome to Arts and Crafts with Rin. So today we will be de-inking this. This is a secret rare Yu-Gi-Oh card. Unsure if the camera quality can pick this up because, oh god, okay, there we go. This is a secret rare. Can't really pick it up unless I were to just do this. Where's this? Should be left and loose, right? Yeah. What the hell? Alright. A little bit more light now. But yeah, this is a secret rare. Can't really show the sheen, but there's striped lines. If I were to point a light at it, it would be better. As you can see from the sheens. Wow, that is really terrible glare as well. But yeah, this is a secret rare Yu-Gi-Oh card. We're going to be taking off and stripping the ink. Sadly, I won't be able to save the black edging for it. But it's been a while since I've done this, so let's see how this goes. Last time I did this was back in 2012. Gotta make sure I don't fucking knock over this tray of acetone next to me. So here we see the ink starting to rub off. You want to do this lightly, just light rubs over it. We also do not want to soak it too much. If it soaks too much, it'll go through the foil and it will get the backing soggy, and we don't want that. If anyone is ever doing this and copying this, please make sure you are in a well-ventilated area and wearing proper PPE. Gonna soak this in for a bit again. Only just a small dip. You don't want to get too much. But yeah, the ink just rubs right off. You can make any foil card of your choice as long as you have the proper printing material for it, which would be any transparency or sticker transparencies. The issue, however, when you're printing onto it, of course, you can't print it normally like you would print on paper, because there's multiple steps to this. Because after the de-inking process is the printing process, you then have to reverse the images, because the ink on the top side would usually get damaged, or it will actually transfer to the inside of your card sleeve, which leads to really terrible messes down the road. So you want to reverse it before you print, and then when you cut it out, you just spray on sticky spray glue preferred, or any clear glue spray, way preferred, and you won't have that mess when you put it into a card sleeve. Because I can bring out my test prints from 2012 and I can show you the mess. Honestly, it's really bad. Very amateur. Gonna just check on the back here real quick to make sure it's not soggy. Looks good. Here you can see more of the foil. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. If you have any cotton balls, that'd be really nice. If you have a cotton swab, that would be better to control your removal of the ink along the border. Personally, I don't like wearing gloves, but it is what it is. It gotta be protected. But I just don't like wearing gloves because it leads to less control. Overall, it comes down to experience. Better to have experience wearing gloves than to not have experience wearing gloves. You definitely want to go slow at first if you're new to it. Get used to the card, because if you like dip in too much acetone, for example, and then you start rubbing really rough, or you let it sit into one place for far too long, then it starts to seep through. Just, you know, start off with a really low dip, like for example. You guys should be able to see the acetone, hopefully. Here, let me just move this over here. You guys should see the level, so you just want to, okay, here. Just a small soak, and that's it. You really don't want to get too much acetone, it will ruin the card. This video will be up on the YouTube later for anyone that wants to rewatch the video, as well as comment on how I did, what I can do to improve. That would be appreciated. If there's any new processes in the past several years that I may not know about. Oops. Yeah, let me just move that here. even with masks, you will still smell acetone. So you know, just know your limit. I'm honestly used to it because my mom works as a nail salon tech. I'm just used to the smell. Grab those flecks of ink off from the middle there. Rubbing it clockwise, counterclockwise, whatever works, as long as it's in a circular motion. That's actually a way better thing than just up and down. And if you're controlled enough, you can get like really small radii of your swipes, and that would be effective as well. I believe that would be the most effective. But that's just me. That's just my understanding of how friction works. That's a little bit too much. Well, we have most of the center done. If you want to have more controlled refinements, just whatever your piece of paper you're doing, just fold it. Just make sure you don't accidentally hit the edge of the card. That way the acetone doesn't seep into the cardboard on the back. I don't expect that many people to watch because honestly I really did not send out any notifications or pings, so if there's any regular person here, hi, welcome. Sorry, I'm not able to look at chat right now. I did not set up to look at chat this stream. Now, an issue with certain cards, such as these secret rares, you will have the lettering still show because of how it was pressed onto the card. So that is something that you may want to consider whether, when you're putting down the Orca, you may want to like have the top of the card here on this side because there won't be any prints, but then there's this official tag, and then that causes a lot of issues. There's ways around the imprint, but that's gonna be up to how you want to deal with that. My personal way of dealing with it is to just slide on more ink onto that side of the Orca in post-production. Yeah, acetone just dries out way too fast. Can't really effectively use it as long as you want. Gotta be fast, gotta be quick. because you can't soak it with acetone. Like, it would be the fastest, but it would get ruined. We really want to be careful over the edge here, because a moment the acetone just hits the cardboard, it's gonna look terrible on the back. Okay, I'm gonna take this time to look at chat now. Connecting. Oh, great, so I don't know what has been said. That's fun. And I didn't activate chat access on this computer's OBS. Twitch. Light mode. Light mode. Alright, I'm looking at chat now. Hello, hello. Here I'm just looking at the streak marks. Really unsure if you guys can actually see that on stream. So there are streak marks from the acetone that you can see here, up there. That's gonna be worried about later before the application, but right now we just want to worry about getting rid of the ink. Oh, thank you. I should actually add that tag. Here, let me just add that tag real quick. Add tag ASMR. Visual and auditory. Update. Ara, thank you, thank you. So this one I will, it seems to be ending up perfect. There's no destruction of the back here, which is really nice. That's what we want to look for. So I'll use this one for Mario's Orica for his field center. And then for the rest of Isaac's will be eventually on. But this is the de-inking process because after I finish de-inking this, I'm gonna do the printing of one set just as an example. Gotta make sure these are dried. Okay, good. You can definitely see the acetone affecting the material of these gloves. Which leads me to believe that acetone is seeping through the gloves and touching my skin, but it is what it is. I'm okay with the acetone. What I'm unsure of is the material of these gloves. I mean, nail techs use similar gloves, right? They're fine, right? It's not like there's any long-term effects, right? No one ever thinks about the long-term effects, just like Agent Orange. Now this is going to be really risky here, working on the edge of the card. I really don't want to seep. What would be the best way to counteract that is just to have tape or masking tape along the edges of the border, and that just makes it way easier. Pro tip. Gonna do it this way. That way the acetone actually doesn't hit the edge of the card. Oh, Sag. Alright, I didn't damage it. Perfect. Ooh. Just close there. The acetone might have dried up before it hit that. Whew. Get rid of some of the streaking. Some people usually have tutorials for X-Acto knives and they'll just scratch that off. Now, using an X-Acto knife, you know, alright too, scratching off the ink, but the issue with scratching it off is that you're likely going to damage the foil, especially if you're inexperienced. But if you are going to do that, very much preferred if for the secret rare, for example, right? If you're gonna actually scratch the ink off, very much prefer to do it along the lines. That way it won't be as intolerable for post-production. But the only times I would ever use a knife to scratch it off is to draw over it with paint or ink, for example, if you're actually going to draw over it versus printing out onto a transparency, which is what I will be doing. Someone like Dragon Duelist Girl is a perfect example of drawing over art, because you won't notice the scratch marks over the ink. That's just how it is. But with the transparency, you will see the imperfections and flaws on the foil. Now, there was a YouTuber that I watched roughly, I want to say 11, 12 years ago, and his video was one of the first few out there that showed how to de-ink this. I don't remember his YouTube channel. I was following his Instagram for a while, and I remember him uploading a video just last year, actually, but I just don't remember his YouTube name. He plays E-Heroes. I believe he was from Hawaii? I'm not really sure. I forget which state, but he was a really chill dude. And he made a lot of really sick orcas. But yeah, the guy made E-Heroes, and the last video he had was playing E-Heroes. He stopped because he wanted to focus more on life, and in that regards, no one can really blame him. Really gonna miss the orcas though. You know, that's usually something though. Whenever you go focus on life, you tend to go back to your old hobbies. And then from there, either your life has been changed too dramatically and you can't go back to that old hobby, or you actually find a new spark in that hobby and then you just go ham on it. For me, that was a bit of Mobby, because I started Mobby back in my college or late high school, early college years. But I quit Mobby for like a few years to focus on college. And then when I got back, I really wasn't doing much at the time. I wasn't into Yu-Gi-Oh as much as well because all my friends were, you know, still working on their majors. And I didn't really have access to go to shops. The shops in Arizona are also pretty shitty. And my parents didn't want me to get a job, so I couldn't really get a job because I didn't have a car at the time, so I couldn't really do anything on my own. So I just went back to Mobby and I was like, oh cool, these are the updates. Oh cool, Final Hit is updated, nice. But honestly speaking, if it weren't for a lot of the major combat revamps in 20 whatever, I definitely would not have gotten far in Mobby. It was way too grindy. A lot of the fast tracking process that they added were really great. And I took advantage of that. You know, I was just there at the right time. And I just got significantly progressed in the game. And in terms of skill level, I definitely would say that my high school years were way better than how I am now. I would say my prime years were definitely my high school years. I don't have the reaction time I used to have. My thought process is way different compared to back then. I was heavily aggro back then, which is good, but when you're heavily aggro, you don't really think about certain things. Compared to now, I'm analytical because a lot of the new content, there's really not that many guys. Like if you look at the Taiwanese raid for Mobby that released for the beta testers, they could have cleared it, but no one in the beta were able to clear it, and there was a lot of issues. We saw all the beta tester videos. There was a lot of issues. Not with the content itself, but with the players. They did their best to be team-based oriented, which I'm not going to give them shit on, but I'm going to give them shit on not exploiting iframes. Like, all it really did was negate anchor rush iframes, because you can't anchor rush in the raid, but you still had access to all your other iframes. And it's really sad because in live server, the duo raiders are, you know, clearing at duo because they're using iframes. So the raid is much more tolerable than most people think. It still has a huge skill gap, but endgamers are able to clear it because the content is meant for endgamers. So it just sucks that the beta testers just weren't going all out on it. Because I feel like if they did, then they could have made the dungeon much harder, which I very much prefer. I like hard content. I don't like being able to steamroll content, because then it just leads to, alright, I can solo this. I can eventually make a bot for it. Alright, I'll just let it do the work for me and I'll just profit. Which leads to death of the game, in my opinion. Gotta be careful here not to touch the border. This is really, really sus. Really, really sketchy. Come on. Just gotta make sure. A little few specs, but I'm just gonna try and see if I can get as close to the border as possible and then swap to Q-tip. Now, the ink on these borders are going to be a lot more annoying. Because how they print Yu-Gi-Oh cards is they'll have the base ink and then they'll print the black on top of it, so that's extra layers on the edges. Now, it wouldn't really be a problem, but it's on the edge, which you have to be more careful about. If I had access to a CNC, I would probably program it to brush off this ink. The only difference is that I would have to time the rotor so it doesn't destroy the foil. But it's definitely doable. It's definitely doable. When you start to understand how machines work in general, I feel like everything becomes a lot easier. I don't know, maybe it's just me. That's how I just feel. Now I'm not working on one edge for far too long because I don't want the acetone to seep through and then damage the card, so I'm just letting it dry up while I'm working on another spot. But yeah, you can start to see the ink build up. Well, if this camera was any better, you can still see the ink catching onto others because the way it degrades ink doesn't fully degrade it and then starts to catch onto whatever you're scrubbing on. For anyone that's new to this, or art in general. which I feel like maybe a lot, especially if you're watching about orcas. But yeah, if you can hear a squeaky noise, well, I don't want to do it, but if you hear a squeaky noise, that just means that you're pressing too hard and rubbing way too fast. You definitely do not want that. That will destroy the integrity of the foil. Oh god, I need air. One moment. Yeah, whenever you feel like you're just breathing in too much acetone, just go get a breath of fresh air. Oh. But yeah, as it gets closer and closer to the edge, it's really tough. But that's if you were printing like full card orcas. If you're gonna keep the border, it's way more simple. Way less work. Alright, let's see here. See if I can just remove the final. I mean, it doesn't destroy the edge, it just takes way too long to remove the ink. You definitely do not want to put an X-Acto knife to the edge as well, that just ruins the edge. As someone with experience. For privacy reasons, I'm just gonna show you the example images here on the screen. And then once I print out for this card, I won't be applying the specific image on stream as well, just for privacy reasons. I will show you an example of how it would go on though, just with a different card. Alright, finally getting that border off. Being a perfectionist is annoying. So you can see the ink as well. Alright, let's see here. How bad is it? Not too shabby. Not too shabby. There's a few specks on there, but there we go. Let's see if you guys can see that. Yeah, there's that speck right there. I don't know if you guys can actually see that on this camera, but yeah, this edge right here. Now to do that for the entire fucking card. Yes. So, for anyone that actually wants to do this, it's best that you just rub off the ink as close to the edge as possible, and then you start doing this. Otherwise, it's just going to take a super long time. Really great quality, but super long time. If you had a machine to do this for you, that would be absolutely amazing. If you have access to it, go for it. Just have to make sure you don't damage the foil. But yeah, I'm pretty sure you can see it in here. There's the imprint of the card name right there. So, you know, if you were going to draw over this, that would be a non-issue. only if you're going to be using a transparency that would be a slight problem, because it does show through. And to mitigate that, you may want to use something like, I'm actually not sure. I personally would try and cover the name with ink, but it's a really long process. Really long process. There's no more Aura Redemption? What? What do you mean there's no more Aura Redemption? Hold on. I see the auras. Yeah, I see the errors. I have no clue what's going on. But anyways, welcome. Currently just de-inking some cards. Getting sweaty. Here you can see all the ink that's left over. But yeah, for anyone that's new here, how you de-ink the card is simple. You grab any piece of paper, cotton swab, Q-tip, you dip some acetone, and then you just start rubbing over it. Really long and tedious process. If you have access to a machine that you can self-program, such as a CNC router, just add a rotor, a brush. What's it called? If you have a sanding brush to attach to your CNC, just attach that. Well, not attach the sanding paper, but attach some, cloth paper or just something really soft to it. Lightly wet it with acetone, and then you're going to want to test out the speed for it, and you want to tape over the border edges with masking tape, and that would simplest be the fastest way to de-ink a card, especially for mass production as well. Life is just better when you have the proper tools. I used to work with a lot of CNCs when I was like when I used to work legally in a factory. Legally speaking. Yeah, I used to program the CNCs at the factory. I did daily maintenance. Those things are a fucking death trap. I really don't recommend anyone inexperienced going in them. Because holy shit. If someone were like, okay, so think of a box, right? You know, standard box with all your drills and shit, heavy machinery, you know, cogs and wheels and shit, right? If anyone did not know you were doing maintenance on that specific tool, and I call CNC's tools, by the way, and then they were to run it, that's gonna mangle your body. That's gonna destroy your bones. It's just fucking dangerous. Like, my dad and I were the only ones that fit inside there to actually repair it, and holy shit. I would not wish anyone to do that. If they made it simpler to fucking take apart, it would be way safer. But CNCs are really great. They do the job. They just need to be safer. They are way safer nowadays, but all the old tools, no. And factory corporations aren't going to upgrade unless they have the funding to, but the small factories are definitely not going to upgrade from all the old 1950s machinery. Even though it would be way safer, way faster to do maintenance, parts are technically more accessible. And here's the other thing I don't understand. Why don't they make their own parts? Because a CNC can cut through metal, right? Why don't they just make their own proprietary parts? And I'm just like, it's way less maintenance or costs on maintenance. But I will never understand what that guy is thinking. And he's a Canadian. I'm not going to say the name of this company either, but let's just say it's a really reputable corporation here. Especially for aerospace tech. If you're thinking NASA, no. NASA doesn't do that. NASA hires third parties to machine specific parts. Hear that squeaking? You don't want to do that. So we're gonna move to a different part. Oh, come on, why are you squeaking? Is that part flat? What the heck? It is flattened, okay. So with these foils, they're textured, right? If they're flattened, that means they've been rubbed for far too long. Okay. I'm just getting I'm just unwrapping the paper so I can get a clean side. Need anything?
Looking for her prenatals.
Are they not on the couch?
Have you seen it?
I thought they were on the table.
Oh. That's weird.
Ara ara. Squeak, squeak, squeak. Yes. The French soft. Ah. Okay. There we go. Thank you, thank you. Squeak. No. Yeah, getting to that board is gonna be annoying for this side. I just have to dip enough acetone in there to trigger the process. Alright. What time is it? For the sake of speeding up this, I am gonna do something that is much more risky. I really don't recommend this for anyone that actually wants perfection. Especially if you're starting off. If you're an advanced person, feel free to go your own way. Doing this is just risky because there are potential odds where the acetone seeps to the back of the card, but it does it so much faster, as you can see. Just gotta make sure the edge there wasn't damaged. You can see that some of the ink hit the cardboard though on that edge.
Or you can just use this.
Thank you.
Make low.
Alright. Clutch Q-tips. This will help out a lot. Oh, hold on. Let me take off a glove as well. Man, it's so sweaty with gloves. Alright. Q-tip. Still want to be careful with a Q-tip though, because the acetone can still soak through. Ooh. That was close. I saw some acetone hit the back of the card as I was sliding off. And that is a bad sign because that means that the acetone hit the cardboard. I think it did, yeah. Yeah, there's a small edge. It's highly unnoticeable if you're going to be playing it or it's going to be in sleeve, but like for someone inspecting the card, they're just going to notice a minor detail if they know what they're looking for. Here's how you can avoid it. So just make sure that your spot is dry. Acetone. So you want to do this motion, but you don't want to have it there. Otherwise, the acetone will seep through the side here and onto the cardboard, and it will adhere to the back. So you just want to slide it this way while you're doing that motion. And that's one way. Gotta make sure this gets dried and repeat the process. I need to open the door because that's how air circulates. I was wondering why it was so quiet. Again, thank you for the Q-tips. So annoying. Come on, ink, just... There we go. God, this ink is just so persistent. Why? Damn, that's a lot of acetone. Come on, ink, can you just detach, please? I've seen faster chemical reactions, come on. And they're supposed to be slow. Oh my god. Why is that so stubborn? Acetone's starting to evaporate now that there's a really low amount. Let's see here. Yeah, if it gets too bad, I'll open it, but it's not too bad now because a lot of the acetone's already evaporated. I don't want there to be too much circulation because if there's too much circulation, the acetone just evaporates even faster. Hopefully this small amount left over is going to be enough to at least finish one of these sides. I mean, if I were more rough with the card, definitely. I am starving. Oh man. Thinking about the pizza just makes me hungry. Okay. So acetone is filling this up. We still have half of the border. I'm just gonna use whatever's left on the Q-tip. And I'm gonna go grab a slice of the pizza. These little small specks. But yeah, this is the card in all its rarity. Really beautiful. I really love secret rares.
Yeah, make sure the acetone didn't leak through the glove.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't?
Yeah, I didn't.
Did you open the window?
No.
Oh, God.
I mean, the acetone's already... What?
That's just strong.
Yeah. I mean, it's industrial acetone.
Jesus Christ.
I would have thought it was going to be nail held muscle. What? Yeah. Where's the
How
pizza?
much are you selling it?
I have no clue.
She said 15.
Okay.
What do you think?
That's good. I mean, I'll ask him. Or are you gonna ask him? Okay. Where's the pizza?
Alright, I am back. I am gonna crack open this window because the moment I open this canister, it's gonna. Whew. It's doubled, and I can't reach the top one. God, I wish I was taller. There we go. Oh shit. Almost fell. Gloves. Monk up. At least spiders are sensitive to the smell as well, so they'll be deterred from entering. Pay no mind to that sound. That is enough. Let's just soak up some of this here. God, that's absolutely strong. None fell on the side. Perfect. Yep. If there was a fan in here, it'd be perfect. All right. Back to this. There's this one edge that just doesn't want to get de-inked. Wait, why am I still wearing gloves? Don't need gloves for this part. There we go. Finally getting off. What is going to be interesting is the printing onto the transparency. This printer's flaw seems to be just as any other inkjet, and that is only on paper, but we will see how this printer works on transparency. But oh, I forgot to grab my examples from 2012. But the printer I used back then was also inkjet, and they did the same thing with, you know, paper or cardstock, but with transparency it was really nice. It was really good. So I'm gonna have to see what flaws this printer has on transparencies. I wonder if I can do Orcas for Yu-Gi-Oh cards trades and maybe rebuild my Dragunities from there. So I was looking through the cards that I brought with me. I have some of my, I have like 1/3 of my Inzektor deck apparently. Well, I wouldn't even say a third, maybe like a fifth of my Inzektor deck. I have some of my Dragunities because the pile I took was a pile that had all the cards I weren't using for the main deck, so they were just like extras I had for the deck. So I have some of my Vajrayanas. I have one of my Barchas. My Gaidir's is back home, sadly. I have a playset of Phalanx. I only have like 2 ducks, I think. So it's because I went, I have dual terminal Phalanx and secret Phalanx and ultra Phalanxes, so I just have some of the extra Phalanxes I have, which is Sedge. But those are at home. The ones I have with me is one DT And oh fuck. Try that out. But yeah, I have one secret, one DT, and one ultra phalanx, I believe. But the issue is that with link format, I would only be using 2 phalanx, because as good as phalanx is, it's just not great. If ravine was at 3 though, that would be different. Come on. Come on, detach. Yes, yes, yes. I wonder if I still have copies of my Dragoonities Orcas, because I did make Orca sets for it back in the day because I couldn't afford phalanx, you know. Because if you guys want to ask me about how much my allowance was, it was like $1. That's what my parents would give me. $1, and then on New Year's it'd be like $20. So yeah, my allowance was basically nothing. Gonna dip some of this and soak this edge a bit. This is just so the ink can start to detach. Now let's see if there was any damage done to it. Maybe add some more acetone to the Q-tip. Oh, a little bit too much. I'm not sure if any of the viewers right now have watched a person named Louis Rossman, but his setup. Okay, so what Lewis does is that he repairs iPhones and Macs, but mostly iPhones. And he has a spectrometer, you know, he has a high density magnifier, and it's all great. He has soldering tools, and I love the way he has it set up. Because if I had a high magnitude magnifier, I would just be able to show the card itself at a high resolution. The camera has frozen again. One moment. Hello, hello. Sorry, I don't keep a track of chat all the time. Let me just try and fix the camera because it's frozen. There we go. Hi again. What am I doing here? I am removing the ink off of a Yu-Gi-Oh card, and then after that I will be applying these arts on the side here. But for this production, This first card definitely will not be shown on stream of the art because I do have someone getting a card tonight. And for privacy reasons, I will not be showing the art on stream. But simplistically, it's just taking the ink off of a Yu-Gi-Oh card. What is wrong with this camera? The process to de-inking any card is really simple. You just get a Q-tip, paper, or cotton ball, cotton swab, and then you dip it in acetone. And then you start rubbing the tip over the ink. A very long process at times. You want perfection. But there are faster ways that you can do it. It's just that those have a higher chance of ruining the card backing because it's cardboard, or the foil itself that you're trying to remove the ink from. Come on, ink, just attach. Detach for me, please. There we go. Now, if anyone was going to do this, again, I reiterate, please do this with proper gear. Please do this with in a properly ventilated area. Now, if anyone were to actually get some acetone onto the back of the card, immediately just try and get air onto it. That way the acetone will dry up. Otherwise, it's just going to soak the cardboard and then it will start to affect the adhesive between the foil and the cardboard, and that would just destroy the integrity. Now it's only taking this long because I am removing the border. For anyone that is just going to be keeping the border, as well as the official card seal on the bottom right. It's just so simple. It's not going to take this long. It'll take you like 30 minutes tops. But getting rid of the border here is the tedious part of the process. Simply because it's by the edge of the cardboard and you don't want to ruin that. Come on, ink. This ink is really, really stubborn. Yeah, this ink really doesn't want to let go of the foil. This is so annoying. Again, I'm just gonna lay down some acetone onto the ink. Hopefully it will start to disintegrate the ink. Sedge. Come on, ink. Just anytime now. Anytime now would be nice, ink. Sedge. It went off on the corner, not the inside. Finally. almost done. Why is this so difficult? What the fuck? a little bit more of the specs and then it'll be good. It's just these specs will show through the transparency. So I'm just doing my best to get rid of them. That's it. That is a foil done. Hopefully, when we are making more of these, it will not be filled centers or anything that's going to require the full card itself. Because if we can just mask off the edge with masking tape, we can just focus on the immediate ink. But that is it. You can still see some small specks up here, but it's cleaned enough to the point where it won't be that obtrusive on a translucency. Here we can see some damage from the acetone. Those small circles right here and here. But yeah, that'll be it. Okay. Now for the digital side of things. Now that we have this. So here we have example images. This will not be what I am printing out right now, but I will be printing out a few of these as well. Well, I'm not sure yet. It's just that I don't want to waste like a single sheet of translucency. So let's get to it. Let's move the acetone somewhere safe. Over here is fine. Let's see if we can just angle this camera. As well as where's the defaulting? Again, thank you for the pizza and thank you for the Fanta. Let's move this pre-cut out of the way. Or the scan and cut. I keep calling it a pre-cut. I don't know why. So we're gonna slide out the sheets. Take out the cardstock. Let me grab the transparencies. They should be in my room. What the heck? Found the bag. It was in the living room. Alright, so here's transparency film. You're gonna want Am I stupid? Did I grab the wrong product? Am I actually stupid? Because this begs the question. Why would this be next to the adhesives? I mean, I guess it makes sense. It's next to the adhesives, really. Yeah, it does make sense. Fuck. Actually, no, it doesn't. This doesn't make sense to be next to an adhesive. Now this, for this part, it's still a spray adhesive. You don't want to spray this indoors, ever. Never. I need to Google something real quick. Anyways, this aside, damn, I'm stupid. So here is clear foam. And there are multiple varying thicknesses. This one is 005. This is 007. This is going to be slightly thicker. But for today, let's test out the 005s. We're going to be putting in one sheet. It will usually have paper backing to it for protection of the sheet. Really nice. Just lay it down. And now for the digital side of things. Now, we can print it like this. We could. But, as I said, it would damage the sleeve. These are prints that I have done back in 2012. Now, they are printed like how you see here on the screen, but because I did not have an adhesive or a sealant, there's an issue trying to take these out because the ink gets stuck to that. And as you can see, there is now ink onto that clear part of the sleeve. However, if you have a sealant, that would be fine actually. To what degree, I actually have no idea. There is a better way to do it, and you just spray an adhesive. So you would just reverse this image here, if I can figure out a way to do that. Let's see here. If you could just reverse the image, that would be way better. You wouldn't need to get an adhesive and a sealant. You would just need to get an adhesive, and that would bring down production cost. I need to Google. Flip an object, okay. Right click. Is this? No, okay, how about, let's see here. Oh, cancel, draw. Drawing tools. On the format tab. Arrange group. Oh, here it is. There we go. You want to do flip horizontal, and it will. Down. Picture format. And there you go. That is how you work to flip it. And you would only need one less thing to have. I have to find an alternative now. One moment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure if I'm fast enough, I can utilize the sealer as an adhesive. That's only if I'm fast enough. So I'm going to take off this digital view. And then I will go back to this. Close. Where's it? Documents. I'll double check the dimensions. For anyone working on Yu-Gi-Oh cards specifically, these are 86 millimeter by 60 millimeter, I believe. Yes, 86 by 59 specifically, but if you have it scaled in Word document, it will scale it for you. Alright. Let's see here. We have the tray loaded. Oh god. The tray has been loaded. Let me just... And we are gonna set to print. File. Print. It's just one page. Turn the printer on. What is going on? C manual. Support code, printer error. Wait, printer error. 5100. Alrighty, let's see. It's good. Ink seems fine too. Alright, there we go. All right. All right, settings have been dialed in. Let's check out these settings and let's go with it. Save. Double check settings. Okay. All right, the print is set. Let's take a look. Oh wow, what the? Is this really the quality on an inkjet? What the heck? Alright. Test print 1 failed miserably. What the hell? Alright, so the first print test failed miserably. Sad, but let's check out the second test. Hi Yuki, welcome, welcome. So today we are making these, well, a more modern version because I used to do these back in 2012. These are my test prints from 2012. So few hours ago, I was taking the ink off of these cards to produce a blank card. I don't know if you can see all of that, but yeah. And now we are currently in the printing phase where I take a card image, print it onto some film transparency, and oh shit. But yeah, it's printing on some transparency, and hopefully it is good enough. Sadly, not the kind of quality that I am looking for. Huh. But why? Why? Ah. So I am currently looking at theory on transparency prints. Because I am just really confused as to why the quality of these prints is really, really bad. I may have to get a specific transparency foam because these 005s just are not cut out for it. I'm pretty sure it's the transparency material because the ink isn't, it's not even like this, like is there any way I can so for example purposes, right? Let me just do something real quick. Save. Word. Close. Fernie's document. And then. Okay. Show. Okay, so. Here's the image, and specifically it's going to be this first layer, right? Now this is the print, and that is how it looks. It is highly faded. Necromancer, for example, is just absolutely garbage, and I just have no clue why. And I am gonna guess it is because of the inkjet printer itself, along with the combination of the transparency film. So if that is the case, then we may need a dedicated film that is made for inkjet printing, and I'm pretty sure that exists. Yeah. So this is the brand I'm using. It's Clear Lay Film. I am gonna do a quick search on this. Sag. Just looked it up. Clear lay film, not used for inkjet. Sag. That is a Sag. Very much a Sag. Alright, well, that's going to be it for this stream. Until then, gonna hold off, and clearly I need to do research on transparency films and inkjet printers. I guess that the first time I did these back in 2011, 2012. I was just more knowledgeable, I guess, and I did my research back then. But yeah, that is basically it though. If you are printing, please just make sure you get compatible transparency films. If you don't want to go through and reverse this, although this is honestly the simplest, the best way ever, most cost-effective way as well, just reverse the image and then print, and then all you'll need is an adhesive to stick onto the card. But if you don't want to go that route and then you want to just have it in the normal orientation and you don't want to flip it, right, then you will need a sealer such as this. So because apparently I bought a sealer and not an adhesive because I didn't read, because it was next to the adhesive pile. That's my fault. I was gonna see if I can stick this onto the card ASAP, because the thing about sealers is that it can be an adhesive, although it's not dedicated to be an adhesive. It can work. You just have to be fast enough to put the card onto the print, or the print on the card. Your order of operations there. But yeah. Well, today's a test fail, so yeah, there's that. For the most part, this stream was to show off how to remove ink off of a card for this base foil, and the printing process is really clear. That is all. I will have this uploaded to the YouTubes in a few moments here after the stream ends, but I am gonna go lay down and rest. If there are any questions, feel free to ask me on the Discords, wherever I may be. Have a good Sunday, and catch you guys next time.